Welcome, I'm Will, the Nerdy Nerf Herder, and we're back here in Pokopia tonight. I have set up our pathing a little bit here, and that's a tentative off branch where we're going to be working on putting an amphitheater up over in that area, and we'll be doing the utility building in this area here, which we're not worried about that tonight. I did finish building this cabin for the most part. We still have a couple of logs to place if we want to match it up with what we have over there. So let's see if I did that for the... Yep, I did it for this one. Okay, cool. We'll go under here, because I can see that I did not do it here. So I've been busy prepping for today, outside of earlier stream. And I've got everything painted so that way we can put the tops on everything. And then from there, we'll start placing furniture and getting the paint jobs on that. And I think when we go to place furniture, we'll just go ahead and we'll grab Smear Guru and add him on into the mix. So we're going to go back to our very first cabin over here, which I've got one of our new roof setups completed, but I hadn't finished with the tiling, which I debated about using the stylish tiling. I meant to put it away, but we're going to keep with the fish scale, which I wanted to have at least a little bit there. And we're going to go over here so you can see what we're doing. We're just going to kind of match it up with this one. This one went 2 out, and then started going back in. So we're going to get that lined up. And what we'll do is this. And then from here, we'll do that and that. Go around here, drop it down there. And from there, bam. And then we'll come on in, get it to shift a little bit, and voila. And we'll put water in there in a little while. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's see, what color? We don't want to do pink right next to it. Did I overestimate how many I needed? I did. Oh well. I know why. Okay. So we're going to go to this one. What color shall we do? Let's go with this one. Yeah, we'll go with that. So again, we want to make sure we're 1, 2. Straight across, and we'll go ahead and go all the way around. Wonderful. Do I happen to have the shower head on me? Nope. Alright, so we're doing this one in the purple. So let's get this roof started. Alrighty then. this should be... No. We need to eat. We'll keep it like that. Yeah. Go around, making it look nice. And this way we'll be able to easily punch in those last corner pieces. Then we need to go over. Just like that. Alrighty then. Let's get our valleys. So we'll definitely be able to finish all the roofing today. I think we should be able to get most of this decorated too. Which will be nice. So I've been debating on what exactly I'm going to make my first project when I am done with Pallet Town. Because, like, we're nearing the end here. And how I want to approach it. I know we've got the DLC coming in August. And I have very little done in the other areas. And I feel like almost I should show off just how little I have done in other areas. That way, if you're watching this and you're playing Pokopia as well, and you see how my Pallet Town is, I don't want you to think that you've been slacking. I have played this game way too much, and my time has largely been spent here. Outside of beating the main storyline. So, like, I don't want people being hard on themselves. Don't make others your benchmark. Go at your pace, have fun, enjoy the game. This game is meant to be cozy. It's not supposed to be a rush towards the finish. Go at your pace. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and drop these curtains here just to help us make sure that we have enough. And I can't remember if we managed to put our curtains on the windows there and over here. Looks like we did not. So for this one, we're going to do our other odd color out, I think. And then we're going to do another pink, only a darker pink, and then we're going to do our darker green. So we're going to go with this one. And it's almost like a slate blue, I guess, in the light. I debated on using gray, but I think this will still look nice. Alrighty. I feel like the back side of the roof is always the easiest for these. Not that any of it's necessarily hard. Alrighty, let's knock out our corners. So, despite the late hour, we're still not out of threat of possible fireworks going off while we're streaming tonight. So I apologize. This fireworks is a American tradition this time of year as a form of celebration. So like, there's not much I can do about that. So I apologize if you end up hearing that at any point. I know people will set them off at odd times night pretty much all weekend, with the 4th of July being tomorrow. So I just want to apologize in advance in case something happens and you hear a bunch of fireworks. Thankfully, right now, it appears to be quiet. Red power! I apologize. I ended up watching the live-action Scooby-Doo movie from the early 2000s. With the family the other night, and Scrappy-Doo's puppy power is stuck in my head now. So I apologize for that. Alrighty, so this one we kind of help match directly across from, since we're right across from it. We are going to go with this other pink. But yeah, everybody should be building at their own pace. I know it's easy to get caught up into, oh, everybody else is doing this or everybody else is doing that. I feel so far behind. Don't. Enjoy the game. Have fun. Games are meant to be fun. Or relaxing, even. Like, take this for instance. It's a simple, repetitive task building these roofs. But it's also relaxing for me. There's a peace about it. The fact that this is something that we're doing and we can easily get this task accomplished. Not every game has to be Dark Souls. But my debate is, do I want to go ahead and jump right into the next area? And I just realized in my rush, messed up a little bit here. That's okay. Easy fix. Or do I want to take a break between now and the DLC and work on something else? Maybe do a Stardew Valley farm for a few weeks between that finishing Pallet Town and the DLC. Like, I'll still be doing like daily stuff in the game, so like there'll still be progress made. But most of what I will probably be doing for a little bit there is resource gathering and trying to prep for the DLC and trying to decide what exactly I'm going to do for our next area. Because, like, I could start at Withered Wastelands, or I could start at Rocky Ridges. Part of me is like, okay, everybody's been doing Withered Wastelands or Pallet Town builds. I've seen a lot of Bleak Beach builds. Now, I've seen a few Rocky Ridges, but outside of restoring the museum, I feel like there's a little bit less there. And I don't want to be like every other Rocky Ridges. And then there's the Skylands. And I've seen some stuff built for that, and that could be a fun challenge. But I'm still mulling over what ideas to use for what on that. Because I want to do something a little different with it, and I have an idea for a couple things, and unfortunately I don't think they're developed enough in my head where I feel comfortable tackling those. Well, the idea of, okay, we're steamrolling through this campground, and I was thinking of using some log buildings in Rocky Ridges, though I would need to do some more material grinding. But maybe the answer is, instead of Rocky Ridges, we start with Withered Wasteland. But like, everybody's doing that. I feel like there's more examples of people who have completed Withered Wasteland, and it just feels like Simpsons did it. And I don't want that to be the case. So, yeah. I'm debating on whether maybe take a break, revamp the creative drive, and try something a little bit different before the DLC. And when the DLC comes out, we're of course going to be jumping right into that, trying to unlock the new items and Pokemon, and like you'll get to see kind of what it was like for me playing through the game as I got a hold of each area. All right, so we need to go back a little bit because I forgot to put these down. And we want to make sure this lines up. And we have a little more inventory space free. Because when we start adding all of our furniture in to be painted, it's going to make it a little bit more crowded inventory. So if we can have as much, which I died more than I needed, but we can get rid of some of those. So that way they'll stack nicely again. Alrighty. Moving right along. There we go. Which means this is our last. And like I said, I've got some stuff in our chest nearby, and I think we'll grab Smear Guru and get his help with getting everything painted while we're over here, and have him follow us around for a little bit. Ooh, I need to remember to put those in before we get to that point as well. So let's go down here, place this on down, and we can get these, which we want solid like that, and we just go right up to our roof. And that's how I did the lighting for these on the interior. I felt like we needed at least something in there, but I didn't want to use electricity. There we go. Got that one done. That should be all of them, though. If we just double check placements, we're looking good. Oh no. I messed up the dye job on something. And that is going to bug me until I fix it. So actually, I believe these were left over from an older build. And I had so little white paint when I was working on it the other night, trying to get the count right, that I forgot to fix. Which, if you look here, I actually did the opposite. So, truth be told, we should be using the color paint that each one has. So we'll fix that real quick. We also got to stack down the fish tile. Alright, let's work on this roof. Because we can get this out of our inventory. So feel free to comment if you're watching on YouTube or... and let me know what you would like to see next. Is there an area in Pokopia you would like to see me tackle? Because, like, if you all say, hey, we want to see Skylands, I will reprioritize what I'm doing there to make it happen. If you want to see Stardew Valley and see what I do when I'm playing that, I'm happy to do it. We can start a farm and work on some layouts or something. I want to keep things interesting for everyone. If you want more Pokopia builds, we'll keep building in Pokopia. I am flexible. I have thoroughly enjoyed this game, and I think it's been worth every penny. I admit when I ran into the electrical limits, I did hit a game exhaustion moment where it was just like, okay, the limits make it hard for me to continue. It just completely derailed my creative vision. Instant burnout kind of moment. Now, they've doubled the electrical items, but I have gone through and I have trimmed between electrical items and wireless transmitters in order to try to get enough to really finish Pallet Town and do it justice. And I think I've got enough now. That we should be able to finish these cabins and make sure they each have electrical, which I use 2 of them in each cabin based off of the first build to power everything. So, like, oh no. Did I miscalculated somewhere. or I put it in the box and didn't pull it out. I have the feeling it's in a box. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 8 and 6. Alright, let's drop on down. Alright. And let's go get our friend. Follow me first, and then we'll go ahead and start painting. So I think that's the first move. That way all of our corners start from the same pool. Alright, then we want to reset all of our fish scale blocks. Which I really appreciate that they put it where you can go back on the colors to the default color without it requiring you to use resources. I know some people are upset by the fact that, you know, you don't get the resources back that you spend in, but like trying to ration it, okay, 5, you get 1 paint back. Like, I get it. From a programming stance, it's easier to go ahead and do it where just universally you don't get any paint back, but hey, you can default it for free to fix stacks and whatnot. So which he's not going to like our fixing the roof on that cabin wall. So we'll try to do as much of the other tasks as we can. No, we should be fine. I feel like if we put a little pause while we fix between the 2 fixed jobs and go wherever he's at, and it should be okay. Alright, so for this, we just go on through. get them matching up with our other tent roofs. And then our last one. Alright. And now he'll follow us over. So we kind of got lucky with the curtain pattern on this house, and that there was one that uses basically the same color scheme. We are not so fortunate with the rest. Oopsie. There we go. Let's put our floor back. So while we're here, we might as well go ahead and get our fixtures matching to what they should be. So, to start, we are going to do a white curtain rod. And let's see what patterns we've got. Like, I feel like we might be able to get away with doing this and this as a pattern. Like, I kinda was like, oh, we could use this as well for a couple of them, but like, I almost feel like using Pokemon pattern versus the set pattern like this is a bad idea. So we're gonna go with this. We'll make 2 of those, and we'll make the other one the horizontal. Yeah, we should probably not do that again. Should probably collect those at least, since we can do a bulk die on that. And focus, let's see here. Like, we can do these steps. Oh. So, to my fellow Americans who are currently dealing with the heat wave, make sure you're hydrating. We don't want anybody getting sick. Which I probably should have checked how we did the windows. I know I want these doors to be white, though. And we need to place up that door first. Alright, let's place some fencing. Come on, my dude. Alright. We want our door. And our other door. And we can go ahead and place our steps. And then... Nope, not Graveler. Go back into Magmite form and quickly knock out these corners. Let's sort this. So we make sure we're using the correct pink. We'll go ahead and drop this curtain into place. Like I said, I just need to check the windows here. Yeah, that's how we did it right. Cool. Or at least we did it how I'm doing it for this. There is no right or wrong, in theory. But, here we are. And while we're here, we're going to place those there. And there. Actually, we're going to change your placement. We want to make sure we're on the same line. So we're on the same line. There. That's where it needs to be. Alrighty. Which reminds me, let's glance. I did 3. And I held that back. You know what? We're going to change that up. We're good. Come on, Smearguru. To the next one. The next is our purple. We'll start off with this. You know what? Rather than wasting the energy. No, I want the door, not the plank. Mirror Guru, fall down the hole. Alrighty. We'll just keep moving. Collect all of our die jobs. Because once we've done all of these die jobs and placed everything, that's when the furniture happens. I just wish they would change it where how much dye is needed for bridge planks. This idea that every bridge plank counts as one and needs 2 white paint is just impressive. At least do 5 like how it's crafted. Please, Pokemon. Thank you. That's my main criticism. Making sure things are consistent. And there are certain things that just aren't consistent yet in this game that I think they could easily fix. Make more consistent. And again, I apologize if you can hear the fireworks. There's not much I can do about it this time of year. Because I can certainly hear them now. Who has time for city ordinances when there's fireworks to be had? Which, it appears we've lost Mirguru. Somewhere. Which one did we lose him on? This one. Hey, buddy. Come on, this way. For somebody who's supposed to be following, he's not doing very good. Alrighty. So we need our corners first. And then we just try to do this quickly. And then come back down here where he's a little closer. And yes, I gave up. We're just going to use our energy. So now that we've got all of our wooden posts here, we can pretty easily just go paint it all white. But first, we want to fix our roof here. And then come on back down. And let's get painting. So we need our 6 steps. And that helps reduce our dialogue just a little bit. So we're doing green. And we just leave that white. It's like, yeah, you did the windows, but not the bridge planks? And I can't help but to wonder, like, if that's kind of like meant as almost a punishment for all the white bridge plank, like, overhead arches and whatnot that people were making. And I'm guilty of that too. As you saw in our little food market and over near our haunted mansion, I was 100% dyeing wooden enclosure pieces white and wooden walkway pieces and bridge planks white in order to make little arches, overpaths, and whatnot. So, like, I don't know if it was one of those things like, everybody's doing it, so we're going to figure out a way. So with this, we might as well do all 9 of these white. We know we're going to need curtains with white rods. Oh. And then for this one, so this is the pattern that we used for the other one where it matched. And I feel like there's nothing that really matches quite the same out of what we've got. And I don't want to commit to, like I said, using one that has Pokemon. So, part of me is like, oh, let's just go with the screen. Because, like, at the same time, we're looking at the purple one. Okay, what are we going to do for purple? There's not much here that uses purple for the patterns. So, like, I don't want to do that. One could argue I could use this, but that gets more like a mountain vibe than a, I feel like that's set up for, like, lumberjacks or tartans or Scotsmen. Like, I don't feel like that's the right match. We could just repeat it. I don't think it would look bad. But if we're going to have to go ahead and figure out something else to do for the purple as well, my thought process was, okay, we're doing opposites on these. This, or even this. Possibly this would work for that one kind of like slate blue. But there's just nothing that really screams, oh yeah, that's a purple outside of purple. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll set the precedent of another solid color and do... And I just messed up. Hey, at least it wasn't rare colors. It was just one of the colors that I'm low on. We'll go ahead and just do this. We know we need them anyway. So we at least have the set ready to go. Alright, let's start placing our items here. Where's our fence post? Again, we'll make sure we put our door. That makes an empty house. There we go. And while we're going this way, we'll head on over here and eat some bread. Alright. Now we need to get our painter working again. But I think the first thing we should do, go ahead. Wrong paint. Nope. We're doing the horizontal. Which again, I'm kind of sad. There's not a way we could do a matching set. Or an opposite set. That should have been my first clue that we had an odd number of curtains. Oh. And I know we're going a little past the full hour already, so. But I kind of have a groove going. Nope, wrong thing. Kind of got a groove going. So I feel like we're going to stay the course. Because I'd love to get these decorated with you all tonight. I don't have anywhere I have to be anytime soon. Alright. Oh, we forgot to get our stairs. Yes, we did. And we need to do our windows. Yeah. Using plenty of pink paint today. Let's place our stairs. And our windows. On to the next. So this is that. And then for our curtains. So part of me is like, oh, we could go with this. We could go with this. Or we can go with this. And given the white and the slate blue, while this does add that yellow, it does have a little bit more of that slate color to it. So I think we should go with this. We'll do 2 of these for our slate tent cabin. And one of the best ways to know if we're going to like it or not is going ahead and getting it placed. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that. Alright. Let's place our door here. This door in and our stairs. We still haven't done the windows yet, so we'll get that next. Alright. 2 windows. Then we might as well go ahead and get the rest of our paint jobs done that we have here. I can't remember if we always got to paint generators. But you can paint generators. So like if we wanted to help blend our generators into an environment, you can paint them. But we can't paint the transmitters. I wish we could paint the transmitters. I don't mind the little glowy light. That's important. But please, let us paint the transmitters. Which we probably should be placing these in here. But we'll get there. I feel like we're better off placing the electrical items and then going, oh yeah, now add in these. Again, we went ahead with the solid purple curtains here. And we want to place our big door first. It helps if we place it in the frame. And we want to swivel on around here. Part of me wishes these would connect. Like, they connect in the sense that they register it as a house. But I kind of wish it would connect to the log still. Kind of like it does the gates. Or regular blocks. And with that, we can pretty much take everything here for building equipment and drop it in our chest and start swapping out for furniture instead and decorations instead. So let's get rid of these. Oh no, can't hold any more. And we'll just start taking the items that we used on out. Alright. Do that, do that. Back to tossing things that we don't need in. I mean, we really just... I'm gonna hold on to these. Alrighty. So let's take another quick gander at what we got going on. So I didn't grab a birdhouse. We're missing shelves like that. But I think we have most of the other stuff that we need to be able to get this looking nice like this one. So those little decorative shelves may be something that we may tack on at the end, but it also may be something that I just fill in the gaps later and call it a night after this episode. But let's start with this first one. So we want to make sure we get our stuff. Like, part of me feels like we should be doing this as a white mirror. And then I'm like, wait a minute, which did we do over here? And I'm pretty sure we did the green over here. And the easiest way for me to find out is simply to lift it. Yep, we did the green. So we're gonna help use that as our template. And that book was not meant to be green. It was just the default color, so we could even be fun and dye the book cover to match the cabin. But let's get this placed. Kind of swivel it around in here. We want to leave our towel white, and then we'll go ahead and make this match. And we need to place our sink still, which the sinks that we're using cannot be painted. And let's go ahead and stick this CDOT lamp. Alrighty, so we need 4 of these. We're going to paint them white. And since this one's pink, we're going to make that pink. And we'll make that brown. So originally, the idea was we were not going to be using generators. But I feel like if we use generators in this moment, then we can power everything properly. That way we can see what we're working with. Alrighty. We need 2 of these, which I don't know that I made enough of these in my prep work, so I apologize. We may have to make some of those, which if that's the case, we might as well make our decorative shelves, so yeah. So I think for our bed, what we'll do is we'll do the white bed. No, we did a pink bed and then we did the white for the side. We did white for the table, and then we'll do pink for the base. Again, we're using so much white paint. And I have, it seems, better odds getting black paint, or at least more luck getting black paint over white paint. If it is indeed split evenly. Alrighty, so for this, we want the legs to be pale pink. We want this to be pink, and we want this to be white. And we're going to do 2 of those. And then for the big couch, we're going to do white with the pink inverted. Jeez. I am getting a little tired. We're going to keep at this. I want to deliver on what I said we would accomplish. And that means getting most of our stuff painted and placed. So in the other one I did pink, or I did the green and the white, but I almost feel like no, we'll keep this. I don't think we have enough of these resort lights though for every house, so we'll see. First things first, let's sort our inventory, get our couch, get our table. Let's kind of start hammering stuff in. No. Oopsie. So we can actually paint these cloths. I want to see. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love the base design for this. Alrighty. Where's our resort? Oh, yeah. Then we want one table back here. And did I grab our fire pits? Yes, I did. And I probably don't have... You know what? We're going to go ahead and take off these fans. I am going to figure out those placements later. Alrighty. So time for us to install the library. Then we want to make sure we put our bed. And we did the mirror just like that. Do that white. And we'll do that pink. And then we'll do these pink. There's our lamp. And we'll wait on the plant life as well. Kind of like I don't have the birdhouse. Ooh. No, I want to save those. Those need to go elsewhere. So our next one is our slate. No. Next one is our purple house. So we can go ahead and start dyeing some furniture for that. Now we could have done a pattern for the seat, but I feel like keeping it with the straight colors on the seating and whatnot is the way to go. And part of the reason I'm not dyeing everything all at once, and we're kind of hopping from cabin to cabin, is to help reduce the risk of inventory management problems. As we just cruise along for our next cabin paint jobs. Which we're coming along nicely. We should get most of the basic furniture taken care of. For each of our areas. So this one, we wanted purple, white, you know what? Let's kind of like that. I feel like that's a little cleaner. Let's fix that on this one too. And that will help with contrast in the room a little better. And then put our clock up. And paint the next clock. But I am kind of curious to see if we're going to hit our generator maximum as we're moving along here. So, table is our first thing, which these tables cannot be painted. So in the first cabin, we actually had 2 of these C-dot lamps. As you can see over here. We're going to raise this one up. Go ahead and insert our generator and our power cube. We'll just moving right along into this. Fire pit. Ooh, we forgot to put the trash can. Oh well. We'll fix that here in a little bit. Which I debated on, do we want to bed that? But I opted for this. So that way you have the option of how to wake up. With the light from the sun coming through the windows, or have the shades, either one. Alright, we need to pop down our lights. And this, unfortunately, we're starting to get low on backpacks here. We'll drop that backpack there, though. Right sure we get our clock hung. Alrighty. And those are our essentials. And our C-dot lamp. Put our stuff that can't be painted. We forgot to put that down. Alright, we do not have enough side tables, so we need 5 more side tables. So we'll focus on what we can complete. Wrong one. There we go. The only sad thing is the having to wait on some of the lamps to get placed. Yeah, that's definitely... Doing the white is definitely the way to go for that frame. I think that'll help it pop a little better in the low lighting conditions, as well as look a little cuter in the daylight conditions inside this house. Or cabin, rather. I'm gonna have to get more white paint too, before you know it. Which, thankfully, I already purchased plenty of white paint, it's just in storage. complete as much as we can before we have to dismiss Mirguru, since he can't go into our storage unit without getting stuck. Which, I mean, we'll have to pass his current home on the way back out, so, like, we should be okay. Because at that point, we'll know exactly what we have left to die. Alright. So it looks like we can dye everything but 2 of the lamps. So we'll go ahead, knock that out. We'll get this stuff placed. We'll dismiss Mirguru, and then from there we should have plenty of inventory room to get everything painted on the next go as we pass by Smearguru. Everything lined up, and we'll hold off on plant life, or I'll put plant life in it down the road. So that way when we come back to building on Tuesday night, which hopefully I won't be sick like I was last Tuesday. Oh, we forgot our towel rack. We can fix that. Also, I love that I can just fly right through the curtains without actually opening them. And then I wanted to do a trash can on each of these because you don't want to walk to a centralized area to throw away your trash. And that's something the staff should be picking up. Alrighty, let's place the pieces that we can that don't need paint. And that'll make it even easier. Not have to worry about running out of inventory space. And we can probably get away with making our clock for the 2. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. Anything else that we can paint before getting more paint? Not Oh no, we can do these mirrors. Forgetting we're doing this pink now. And then we want to place our generators and our transmitters. And my original intention is for these generators to be kind of temporary, and then we're going to try to move the furnace from where it's located to the camp utility building that we're going to be building. Probably next stream on Tuesday, because I feel like the amphitheater is going to take a little more time for me to kind of work out the logistics for it. So yeah, we're going to definitely need to do that. We can go ahead and we'll place our transmitters. But hey, we were able to power all of them, just even if it was temporarily, with our little mini portable generators. And like I said, we'll move that, and that will help reduce exactly how far we have to stretch to get everything pulled in. Because right now we have to take it from that building all the way down here. But if we have it like built in this area, going to all of these cabins, it'll be a lot easier. And that'll bring us 30 units of electricity, a little closer. And I think we would still either need another furnace or another generator, or a small generator. Come on, there we go. I forgot to place our side table, which we need 5 more of. And I am unfortunately out of CDOT lamps with this last one. And I need to print 2 more for us to really finish this build. Alright, let's double check. And then we forgot to put one of the fire pits up. It'll be alright. Let's transform. We can dump some stuff in here that we don't need for now. Alright. No, we don't. Well, we're gonna just straight up put those away. And then back to our base. So we need some more side tables and more white paint. Let's start with the white paint. So we should need... Okay, yeah, we got plenty of resort lights. Anything else that we needed? Well, I'm thinking about it. I don't have the rare Pokemetal we need to print more C-Dot lamps. Our decorative plant shelves. I want to say we use 3 of those per cap for that first cabin. And so we'll make 15 of them. And I feel like we really should have had like we got this little cabinet for kitchenware. We should have like a little spice rack to go with it. So that way any food that the people are eating, they have a little spice rack to make it flavorful. Alright. Anything else I can think of? You know what? I did think of something. We'll make 6 more side tables. And let's check out our toy chest. See if we've already got some ready. It appears we do not. You know what? No, we're just gonna leave the side. We're just gonna do the side tables, and then we want leafy plant. I was thinking we could put an alarm clock there, but I feel like if we put an alarm clock there and double down on the clocks, it's just kind of wasting it a little bit. We've got the moon clock. They're meant to be vacationing. Go at your own pace. The clock's there to help remind you, hey, time does exist, but like the idea of, hey, you wake up when you wake up with the sun or whatever, and not relying on an alarm clock. I feel like that's how vacations should be. Hey, he didn't make it very far. Wonderful. We can make him follow us again. So let's see what we were missing up with this one. So we were missing lights, 2 lights, and a side table, I think. We'll start with our lights. And then 2 side tables. So again, we're adding the one in, and we'll make one for our original cabin as well. But I feel like there should be a nightstand. But we'll go ahead and put a leafy plant on it too. And then our light here. So with all of these, I know we're going to make the shelves white. So we might as well just get it done and over with. And then our accent colors. This one for salt, one for pepper. You know what? No, we got those white bottles already. Let's do one for salt, and then let's do one for cinnamon. And we can pretend it's cinnamon sugar. For buttered cinnamon toast. Even though we don't have a toaster. I don't know. We'll go with it, though. And then all of these we want white, and then I will dye for 3 of them for each cabin with the appropriate colors. Complement. So we'll need watering can and the little pot. Alrighty. Now to place our items. So I think that needs to go there. And I genuinely wish this could go here, but we're going to put it on the other side. We'll do that one there. And I want to do this there. We still have a backpack? No, we do not. That's probably for the best. Because I don't need to make more copies of that as well. So let's go here. Oh. My bad. Almost forgot our light placement and our last side table placement. There we go. Alright. Let's get our next round of furniture painted. So, now we're doing 3 side tables. Again, I gotta remember we're doing the other pink. But it's kind of fun that we managed to get it down to where we could have most of this lit up. And in fact, if we go to one of the ones that only has 1 CDOT lamp and pull one of those generators, we should be able to light up everything. Because I think it's like 1 light that caused us to go over, and where we don't have both CDOT lamps for every unit, we could go ahead and get it set up. So that way we can see it lit up. But, I don't know. Part of me's just like, just wait. We're going to be making the utility building next, and that will have the new furnace. And that will give us 30 units of power closer. And if we want to do 2 furnaces in that building and just completely forego our little mini generators. But one of the things my wife had mentioned was she kind of liked the idea that we could see that 1 mini generator underneath the porches. So if we could still fit one of them there almost for decorative, it would be kind of cool. But at the same time, I don't want to risk running out of power for the last items that we need. Just because we decided to be a little fancy. And again, once we have power to everything, we can place those generators down, and they could be fancy. They just won't contribute to the power grid. And I'd much rather have them not contributing to the power grid and have everything powered if we're going to put extras down. But at the same time, I thought it'd be nice to kind of let us see what it looks like powered up for the most part. So once we get basically what we have in our inventory placed, we will call it a night here. But the good news is everything should be pretty much placed, and it's just fine-tuning the decorations from there. Kind of like how we had like the jewel decorations dangling from our initial cabin across the way. We're adding a little bit of individual flair somehow to each one. I haven't quite decided. We'll get it figured out, though. Almost done painting for now. For this unit. And since I'm thinking about it, let's do it. We know we can steal this one. And it won't cause our lights to malfunction. And we can place this over here with our green. And that'll allow all of our lights over here to at least function while we do our setup. Alrighty. Gotta place our towel rack in here. Place our side tables. Which if we move this over one, like that, we can do the two side by side. But I just feel like having a little more room to access it is the way to go. Try to make it look like it's more there for practical use. See, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So we're gonna move on to the final cabin. We'll start off with our moon clock. Nope. Wrong moon clock. Right moon clock. So again, we'll start with our lamps. And we'll go ahead and we'll fix those side tables too on the other ones before we call it quits. I feel like we gotta at least clean out everything that we had in our inventory that can be placed. I feel like if we don't, I'm not doing y'all justice. Which, I mean, I've got some extras of some stuff from where I had calculated it out and then forgotten I had tossed a couple in a chest to be used. So we already had some over here and I didn't subtract it, but you know. Now we got extras. Not like we're never going to use them again. That's one thing I can say about this is with the way I've got my storage set up, as long as everything's kind of at its default color scheme, I can pretty much accommodate any kind of extra furniture that I make. No problem. The hardest thing for storage has been blocks. But at the same time, for the most part, we don't need a whole lot of blocks. Having two full stacks of stuff has been pretty much all you need for a majority of the game. Unless you're working on a big build that uses something specific for natural blocks. Like, for example, with my volcano, I had probably 6 or 7 of the big chests full of black rock going into that thing. There's no way I could have properly accommodated it all in my storage. But, like, I really don't need that much on any given day. I've got a full chest full of black rock and volcanic ash and magma. I think I may have some magma stone now. I used it all in the volcano build initially. I've been trying to update the volcano build with more magma rock as I get it. Because there was so few of it, with it being a much rarer resource. Alright, I believe this is the last item we need to paint for this unit right now. And we'll start placing things. Yeah, let's sort it. There we go. One, two, there. Then we can go above. Gap, bed, where we want it. Since we're right here. Drop these down. And the fire pit. And now we can get all of our lamps placed. Since we're right here, get our bookcases. So, I decided the bookcases partially to help hide the power transmitter, but also because one of the things that, like, my wife and I love to do when we're vacationing is read a book. And with Airbnbs being a thing, having like a book selection at your hotel with books that you could read or start up specifically there. Did we make this one bigger? Okay then. I apparently made this one bigger. So that's a thing. So let's get these chairs placed. Because we're, like I said, we're in the downhill stretch here for this build. Place that there. Place that there. All we have left is the towel. And voila, that's placed, and then we'll head this direction. So we've got all three of our tables placed there. That looks good. And we've got our plant shelves, so we're on to our next unit. What do we got here? So we got our plant shelves. We're good there. We got our side table, so we're on to the purple one now. So we'll come around here. So we know purple is here, and then the baby pink is going to be the next one. So we'll go ahead and make 3. And finish our dye jobs up on this. So we can go ahead and dismiss Smear Guru. Tables. We need a purple. We need a baby pink. And then we need one lime green to add over there, because I don't think I had one over there already. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But, just to be sure, because it's not like I can't... Yeah, it would be a waste of green paint, and I am a little low on green paint. I'd rather go ahead and paint it, because it's a color green that, with these side tables, with how the top is white, I'm probably going to use again. So it's not the end of the world if I have an extra one already painted. Alright. Double check. Alright. Yep, that's the last of it. So we're going to go ahead and split up with Smear Guru, so we can plop our last items without having to worry about him tagging along. So we'll start with our plant shelves here. Again, plant shelf there. Spice shelf here. And I am using the wrong plant shelves, so we will get that fixed. Can't believe I started with the wrong ones. Alright. Purple. We need to use the purple for this unit. There we go. And then before our next stream of Pokopia, I will do my best to go ahead and get our fire pits over here all lit up so they look nice too. Alright, let's try our plant shelves again. Get the first ones. Then we'll come down here. Our spice shelf. Our side table. And our happy little plant. And then our final, and like I said, I need to fix this on a couple of our tents. But I didn't go high enough on this column. And then the dangles we can put in. I did the shelves here green. I think that was a mistake. And we'll get that fixed. See, this one has it where we could do that. Move that. Put our spice up. We're just going to get rid of that tree. Because I feel like the side table is the more marketable item there. There we go. So like we use the birdhouse here, we can put plant light there and other ones, and we'll get it looking nice. Just like the rest. Or this, just like this one, we'll get the rest looking a little more decorated. And we'll probably adjust the fans too, because I feel like one fan per unit is not enough. But we're going to call it a night here. We've got a majority of our cabins done. So all I need to do is a little bit of tweaking on the final decorations. And then we can build our utility building on Tuesday's stream. If I don't at least get it started before then. Thank you for joining me. Once again, I'm Will, the Nerdy Nerf Herder. Please follow and like if you're watching on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitch to stay up to date with my streams, and I try to keep my uploads flowing, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me.